tuning into today's video. We're going to be July month-ahead forecast today. We're going to have a look at some of the seasonal models, see what they're predicting for the coming month, the month of July. It looks like we're going to be seeing some high pressure influences coming along. Just going to talk about June very quickly as well. The prediction for June was that we was going to have a drier than average month. I wasn't sure about the temperature, but I thought they could potentially come up a little bit above average. I think it's been a pretty good forecast actually from GazWeatherViz.com for June. It certainly has been quite a dry June across many parts of the country. High pressure has dominated for large parts of the month. Not been particularly warm. Temperatures have really struggled to get towards the above average category. I think generally we're coming in around or maybe a little bit below average. Actually, I really wasn't sure about those temperatures though for June. I did say for the June forecast I could see it going either way. Really, I was a bit on the fence. Just more or less very slightly come out in favour of above average, but I was really quite unsure about it, and that's indeed how it's turned out. Temperatures are somewhere around average to slightly below average, so not particularly good forecast for temperatures, but I was uncertain about temperatures anyway. But quite a good forecast for precipitation, and for the overall patterns I think it did quite well. So we're going to go on and have a look at July, see what's going on for the month of July. Before I get on with the July forecast, just want to talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on all my pages at GazWeatherViz.com. If you roll your cursor over those keywords, they will display ads. If you click through the keywords, go to the advertising website, you'll be supporting GazWeatherViz.com by doing that, and thanks very much for doing it. So we're going to start off with the long-range CFS model. This is the model from the United States, first of all. These are 700 millibar height anomalies. And 700 millibars is same sort of ideas, but 500 millibar heights that I use for my videos and my forecast. It's really looking at pressure in the atmosphere, where we've got orange, yellow colours, we've got above average pressure, where we've got blue colours, we've got below average pressure. And what the CFS model is predicting as an anomaly at 700 millibars for July is quite an extensive and quite dominant area of high pressure to be sitting right over the top of the British Isles. Again, if we go over here, we can see it over here. High pressure is very much sitting around the UK, really dominating the conditions as an anomalous area at 700 millibars. So that is certainly predicting quite a settled and high pressure dominated July. Having a look at the temperature anomaly forecast for July, it's actually coming out around average there. You would think with that large anomalous area of high pressure we would come out above average, but really I'm not sure what's going on. That temperature anomaly from the CFS model does not, in my opinion, equate to what model is predicting for the pressure at 700 millibars. For precipitation though, the model is going for a very dry month. A very dry month is being signalled there, and you would expect that with high pressure to be sitting around the British Isles. So yes, I think a dry month certainly favoured by the CFS model. Not sure what's going on with the temperatures personally. I would think that should be, those temperatures should be much warmer than the model is predicting. Next model is the JMA model. This is from Japan, and we're looking here at 500 millibar heights, which is the same sort of idea as 700 millibar heights we're just looking at on a CFS model in a slightly different area in the atmosphere. This is broken down into weekly periods. This first week actually started on Friday, so Friday the 27th of June. It's the current sort of week that we're in. The model at that point was predicting that we'd have low pressure sitting to the north of British Isles, high pressure sitting to the south. That's a pretty good sort of forecast for the current situation that we're in. I think we've got low pressure coming in today. I'm doing a video on Tuesday, so yeah, it is a little bit more unsettled than it has been. But look what happens as we get through to the next 10-day period, which is taking us from around the 5th, 6th of July, for the next weekly period, I should say, taking us from around the 5th, 6th of July towards the middle of the month. Then the JMA model is predicting a large area of high pressure to build in around the British Isles, really becoming very dominant indeed, with that area of high pressure sitting right over top of the country for that period. And then we go on to the next period, which is the final 2 weeks of July. So this is the 500 millibar heights for the last 2 weeks of the month, and again that model is going for high pressure to be sitting around the British Isles. So this is very much in line with what we're just looking at from the CFS model. High pressure really very much dominating the period across all parts of the country. Really high pressure dominated. But if that's right, it would be a much drier than average month. Same idea as CFS model. And again, I think with high pressure sitting around the country for quite a few days, couple of weeks at least, we will be looking at warm temperatures. We'll be looking at a warm month. You can't get high pressure, I don't think, sitting right over the top of British Isles in July when the sun is at its strongest, and not come away with an above average temperature as an anomaly for the month. So I think if that's right, we're looking at a warm July. The Beijing Climate Centre, 500 millibar heights for July. This is broken down into 10-day periods, so this first period is taking us from the 1st to the 10th of July, and again we're looking at high pressure there sitting across the country through this first 10 days of July, and again going out here it stretches out in towards many central and northeastern parts of Europe. High pressure really very dominated there for the first 10 days of July. The second 10-day period taking us from the 11th to the 20th of July. Again, we're looking at above average heights at 500 millibars, a large extensive area of high pressure sitting around the country, very much dominating the conditions and stretching out into Scandinavia and central and eastern parts of Europe as well. So that takes us from the 11th to the 20th with high pressure very much in control. And then as we go out to the 21st to the 30th, the Beijing Climate Centre wants to weaken the high pressure, and we start to see the low pressure sitting more to the south, starting to move up from the south as the high pressure just retreats very slightly up towards Scandinavia. So that's probably looking at thunderstorms actually pushing up from the south on a thundery area of low pressure, starting to push that high pressure away to the northeast for the final 10 days of the month. So maybe turn a little bit more unsettled on the Beijing Climate Centre for the final 10 days, but really high pressure is very dominant for the first at least two 10-day periods taking us up to the 20th. The temperature anomalies for the month, the Beijing Climate Centre is predicting that we're going to have a warmer than average month. Here is British Isles here, well, here's the temperature, colours indicate temperatures up to a degree above average. That is a pretty good prediction, I think, from the Beijing Climate Centre, much more in line with the pressure distribution than the CFS model, which was going for average. So warmer than average month being predicted there by the Beijing Climate Centre. Drier than average also being predicted. So there's the British Isles again. There's the colours. We are looking at a drier than average July coming up. So if the models are correct, it is looking like being really quite a decent July indeed, with high pressure very much dominating. The Korean model, this is for late July. This is just updated again, looking at a large area of high pressure sitting around the country for late July, stretching up towards Scandinavia as well. Really dominant area of high pressure, and presumably that sets up earlier in the month as well. So all models are predicting high pressure to be dominant for July. That's what we've got to go for. There's no signal for an unsettled July. It looks like we're going to have a really settled July. Lots of high pressure influences. And yes, most temperatures I think will be pushing up above the seasonal average, because with high pressure sitting there, the sun's going to be blasting down. The ground's going to be getting drier and drier, and we should get a warmer than average month. It's been hard to get warmer than average temperatures through 2013. It's been a really cold year, but I think we're going to get our first proper warmer than average month of the year in July. So a warmer and much drier than average July is the prediction from GamesWeatherVids.com for a month. Finally, just going to leave you with a very sneak peek at August. These charts are from the Korean model. As I said, they've just updated. This is the pressure anomaly for early August, and the model is going for high pressure to be sitting more to the west of the country actually, and we're starting to bring down a slightly cooler, fresher north-northwesterly wind there. Presumably this is broken down into 10-day periods by way of this model, so this presumably takes us something like the 1st to the 10th of August, similar to the Beijing Climate Centre. And then going on to the middle of August, which is as far as we can go. Again, same sort of idea with the high pressure through that middle 10-day period of August, sitting to the west of the country there, and low pressure is sitting up to the north and the northeast. And we're presumably bringing down somewhat cooler, fresher north or northwesterly winds, possibly more in the south as well, particularly in the north and the east, with that high pressure increasingly pushed out in towards the Atlantic. So the Korean model is not seeing a continuation of the really good July, but it's predicting going through in towards August. It's predicting a much cooler month for August, with high pressure to the west, low pressure to the east, and a cooler, fresher northern wind, possibly becoming unsettled in the north and the east as well. But we'll worry about August when we get to it. Finally, just quick recap on July. GavsWeatherVids.com forecast, based on all these seasonal models, which are very much in agreement, is for high pressure to be dominating through month of July. Lots of sunshine, a very, very dry month, potentially a really dry month, and temperatures coming out warmer than average by possibly as much as 1 degree. So a really very nice summer month indeed. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.